Hi, I'm Daniel.
And I'm the elf who wanted to be a dentist, Cooper.
And we're with Long Branch Co.
Ha!
The holidays is just the most wonderful time of the year. I'm so tired. How are you?
I mean, I'm feeling good about it. You know, I think we put in a lot of hard work early on. I mean, it's technically still November, but we're gonna.
Shh, people are not supposed to know that this is pre-recorded.
Oh, please. What do you mean pre-recorded? It's coming out in November. But beside the point, you know, I think we did all the hard work now, which means we can actually enjoy the holidays without having to stress too much about decorating and timing things.
Absolutely.
It's just, we can enjoy.
Absolutely. I mean, I enjoy that we prepared with more time this year because I didn't feel rushed. Usually we're like, oh, it's Christmas and people are here. Like, I feel like we could take a room at a time or a task at a time and do it very nicely. And put really time and effort into the Christmas tree or the mantle or the table or whatever, you know.
Yeah, and like you didn't have to fist fight anybody in Hobby Lobby this year. So
Exactly, that's amazing. But yeah, I love how the tree turned out. I mean, it's fantastic. I think we hit all the bullet points that I was envisioning, you know, in my mind, how I was thinking it had to look, and we went fantastic.
Yeah, and I have to say, it was a smart idea to start with the tree because we kind of based the rest of the house around it. And so like as you kind of go over and look over the rest of the room, you see the mantle, which has a lot of the same pieces in it.
The ribbon matching, I love that.
Exactly. And I think that is what really helps make it look like a cohesive Christmas environment. There's like the touches of ribbon throughout and the same ornaments and the berries. I think that it really makes everything look very, very nice and elegant.
But I also like that it doesn't look like a set, you know? Like, you know how you can get the set of the Christmas tree and the wreath and the mantle. It doesn't look so identical that it looks kind of cheap, and it was inexpensive, but it doesn't look cheap.
And speaking of unique, even though we had a lot of the similarities throughout, we still were able to kind of add our kind of kitschy, fun flair. Like in the kitchen, for instance. Like, yes, we have the wreath that has the same ribbon.
Which you kill it with that ribbon. I'm sorry. That bow looks very pretty, and I'm more amazed because that was the last bit part that we had of that ribbon, and we cannot find it anywhere anymore. And you did fantastic with that.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But like, I think that ribbon is the same throughout, and we have the ornaments and the berry, sure. But then you look at the shelves and it's like, you have little fun things that like maybe aren't your stereotypical Christmas, you know? Like we have our little nutcrackers, those are normal. But then we have our little elves, our little mice, or little elves.
In the bicycle.
Yeah.
There's a little pig with a thing that he always has in the Christmas tree and thinks that I'm not gonna ever find it, but I always find it. So I find a place for it this year, and I liked it. I liked it out. I like that not everything is so over the top and elegant, and you know, it looks so, you know, too much. Sometimes it's not the best. Less is more, sometimes.
It has personality.
Yes.
And it has our personality, which I think is really, really important.
I also love how usually our Christmas table is like over the top, and there's like lanterns and things flying out of the table, and it's full of flowers, and you can barely see the table. And since everything else was very full, like the mantelpiece, the Christmas tree, the wreath, and the little mantelpiece that goes on top of the hood in the kitchen. I like that the dining room is a little toned down, but it still has some of the colors, some of black, red, you know, and even the green from the bow with the green plates. I think that was a nice touch.
Yeah, and with the holiday seasons coming up, we're gonna be hosting a lot of dinners here. So I like that you didn't go so over the top that it's almost like you can't even eat there.
And then good luck trying to move it because, you know, you have to, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think that the table's nice, it's simple, but, you know, because the tree and the mantle and everything is so over the top, it's nice to have a little bit of a break.
Yes.
Now, we also really I think you did a fantastic job with the patio.
Well, when it came to the patio, I didn't want, again, like, the patio is a place where you and I just sit there and just have meetings or just, talk about, our days. And I didn't want it to be so over the top that you're afraid to move it or you're afraid to sit. So we just changed the pillows, we added those kind of tacky car with the thing that is calling that.
The camper.
The camper.
Don't say tacky. It's kitschy.
Kitschy.
It's camp.
It's camp. And you know how I feel about my trucks, my red truck with the tree. That's very cool. And pillows. I love pillows, in case you haven't noticed. I love pillows.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think that everything is fantastic. I think everything is wonderful. But I think the thing that makes people realize what they're about to get themselves into has to be the front porch.
I agree, but without being too overly, crazy. It has two nice touches. Usually, I used to go way out for that, and this year, I think less is more. Let's keep it kind of simple.
I mean, let's face it, there's 2 6-foot-tall nutcrackers on the front porch. I mean, I don't think you can put too much else without going over the top.
True. But I also like that when you open the door and you come inside, there's, in the foyer, we have the glass table with that greenery coming and some ornaments, and it has that beautiful Christmas tree that Nancy gave us. I'm happy with that.
I think there are so many different little touches throughout the house, but altogether, it looks like one cohesive piece, and it also shows our personality. And I think that is very, very important.
And the shelf in the living room, I'm really happy with that. We show how we change things around without doing too much, but also not just throwing something in there and calling it. I feel like each shelf is individually personalized, and that talks a lot about the whole house too. When it comes to Christmas, I really don't think that everything should be, super designed and super luxe. You can have fun too. Like on our couch, I like how we have the pillows that are like the dog pillow. I love that. That makes me happy. And it's not like, oh, that's the high-end design by blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just fun. I give a lot of, I'm more relaxed with Christmas decor because everything looks fun, everything looks pretty. It doesn't matter really how much, it costs or how little it costs. I think it's a matter of how it makes you feel. Don't you think?
Yeah. One of my favorite things about Christmas is like reusing the same things that you've had for a long time. Like carrying on those traditions, carrying on those, the things that make you happy, like you said, the things that have personality. I'm glad that every year we don't go out and buy like a whole new ornament set. We don't go out and buy all these new things. We just use what we have
and adapt it.
And we adapt it. We play with it. And I think that says a lot about everything that we do.
Yeah, we always find a way to repurpose things and change it a little bit, but it still looks very pretty and, but without looking decorator-ish,
Decorator-ish?
Decorator-ish. That's a word, that's a term.
Spell it.
Decorator, like decorator?
Yeah.
Ish.
I don't feel like that's a word.
That is a word. Decorator-ish is like, the best definition of that word? If you go to a Home Goods or At Home, and you see the globe or an item, the items that you always tell me oh, that's ugly when we go to those stores, and that is like knickknacks that are not meaning, they look like it's just a globe and it's not even pretty. Or lamps, like the cheap lamps that only have
Well, thank you. That's not a definition. That is an example. I appreciate it nonetheless. We're going to fact check and see if decorator-ish is a real word.
Check it. But anyway, I'm so glad we got to do this together, and I like having my coffee with you.
I appreciate it and I enjoy it too. I'm glad that we can actually enjoy our coffee in our fully finished, decorated home, and we can just enjoy the holidays.
Sit down, lay back, fire, cup of coffee, two handsome men. What else?
If you're interested in seeing more specifics on some of our Christmas decor, you can watch some of our other Christmas videos, like how we did our Christmas tree or how we
Or
did
the
our
mantle.
mantelpiece.
I don't know what I said then. We can repeat it.
Thank you so much for joining us for a cup of coffee. If you're interested in seeing some of our other Christmas decor in a little more detail, feel free to go back and watch some of our other Christmas videos, like how we decorated our Christmas tree or how we decorated our mantelpiece.
And stay tuned every Monday as we post new videos. Until then, remember to keep doing things
The Long Branch way.